Hey, it's Dan Morales, and this is Homebuyer Radio. This is episode number 83. And last week, I talked about, how do you vet your mortgage person, okay? Here's the first mistake that most people make. I'm going to go to my bank where I have my checking and savings account and get a mortgage. Now, in many cases, you can, right? And for, a lot of people, that's not going to be a big deal, right? Well, the problem with that is you're going to your bank, okay? When if I needed brain surgery or I needed something that required a high level of skill and expertise, I don't just say, oh, hey, I'm going to go to this place, right? Because I want to make sure that if I need, the most skilled brain surgeon, that I find out who that person is, right? That I do a little bit of research, to make sure that I've got the best, most competent person who is going to help me through this process, okay? So how do you vet your mortgage person, okay? Now, one of the things I like to point people to is reviews, right? Legitimate online reviews that you can find. I have been lending since 1991. I have, it's kind of funny. I pulled this out for a client one time. I have 2 3-ring binders filled with client feedback over all the years, right? Where, we would solicit, how did we do? I have 2 3-ring binders full of those, and we have over 100 reviews that you can find on Zillow, right? Of course, those, binders are kind of a thing of the past, right? That's how long I've done this, where, now everything is kind of going online. But, we have over 100 reviews for Zillow, okay? And those are 100 reviews of me personally. They're not 100 reviews of my company, North Point Bank. Actually, North Point Bank, I think, has a couple thousand reviews that are very favorable as well, too. But, there's 100 reviews of me personally, okay? So the first thing I would say is, ask your lender to provide you a link to their reviews, okay? If your lender doesn't have a lot of reviews, that's a red flag, okay? You should be concerned. There's a reason why they don't have a lot of reviews, and it's probably because they lack experience or, they don't ask for them, right? And if you don't ask for reviews, there's a reason why, and it's probably because your clients are having a bad experience, right? I wouldn't want to ask people to write a review if I did a horrible job for them, right? And then when you're looking at reviews, look at how old they are, okay? Are there recent ones? Are there ones that, go back over a period of time? Or are there ones that are just, all of a sudden there's, a handful of them and they're from a short period of time, okay? So check out reviews. You can find some, on Zillow, Facebook, Google, just look for somebody's reviews. That's one of them. The other one that you can look at, and this is a big one that most clients don't know about, is you can, every loan officer has what's called an NMLS number, okay? In the show notes, I'm going to include a link, but every loan officer has an NMLS number. So take your loan officer's NMLS number. There's a federal database of us. You can plug in that person's number, and you can actually see their work history and experience, okay? For a lot of people, that experience is only a couple of years, right? And for even more, it's less than 10 years. Now, you may think, well, what does it matter? If my mortgage person has 5 years worth of experience, that's probably more than sufficient, or even 10 years, okay? Well, let me tell you, for somebody who has, 5 or 10 years experience, hey, first of all, good for you. I'm glad you've made it this far in this industry. But when you compare that person to somebody like myself, who has done this for 27 years, there is a big difference in experience, okay? That big difference is I learned how to do this, the very technical stuff of how to put a deal together years ago, right? And what that's done is it's given me the ability to really understand how to put a deal together and get a loan approved versus how to enter data into a computer and hope it goes through an automated scorecard, okay? So that there's a big difference here because, I see people who advertise, on Facebook and, in different venues where, they are the expert, right? I am the expert at, construction loans. I'm the expert at self-employed borrowers. I'm the expert at rental property. I'm the expert at VA loans. You name it. Everybody wants to say they're an expert, right? Some of these experts have a year to 2 years worth of experience, okay? you are not an expert at anything if you have 2 years worth of experience. And for you to claim to be an expert, it's maybe not the best thing, right? Because you just don't have enough experience to really be an expert at something, okay? I like to claim I am an expert, right? But I am. Okay, I've done this for 27 years. I know what I'm doing. I am an expert at what I do. There are very few people that can do what I do because of the depth of experience I have in how long I've done this and the number of clients I've worked with over all of those 27 years. Okay, so, yes, there are some of us who are truly an expert. You can double check, right? You can go pull my NMLS number. There'll be a link in the show notes, but my number is 709-729, all right? My NMLS number is 709-729. You can go back and you can see my work history, okay? And you can see that I don't jump from company to company, okay? That's another red flag, okay? If your loan officer has worked for, one company for, a year, 18 months, maybe 2 years, then they went to a different company, a year, 18 months, 2 years, another company for a year. If your loan officer is hopping around from company to company, that is usually a huge red flag. Okay, if you look at somebody like myself, my experience, I've been at North Point going up on 5 years here, and I've worked for a couple other banks along the way. Right, every time I have changed jobs, it's been because the bank I worked for got bought. Right, and it got bought by somebody who didn't really have a passion for the mortgage business. So we found a different home to banks who get it, who understand the mortgage business. So those are ways you can vet your loan officer's experience, right? Because some people are really good salespeople, right? They sound really good. They can kind of spin things, and sometimes people get an answer, but they didn't really get an answer because the lender didn't know how to answer the question, right? So you can vet us by taking a look at those online reviews. Look up somebody's NMLS number and actually look at their work history. There are a couple of really big online national lenders that if you look at the loan officer's work history, you'll see that for a lot of them they worked in a restaurant less than a year ago, and now that person's going to handle your mortgage. So it matters, right? A lot of times people, hey, I'll just go to the bank where I have my checking account. Hey, no problem. Go there, because oftentimes they have some of the most inexperienced people working for them. So if you want to trust your mortgage, the purchase of your home, to an amateur, I can't stop you, but just know you're going to get what you paid for, okay? Right? You're going to get a really bad experience, and you're going to get, a pre-approval letter that may not be a pre-approval letter. It may be, really, somebody's opinion that they think they can get you a mortgage, only to find out that they can't. Hey, my name is Dan Morales. My NMLS number is 709-729. I'm with North Point Bank, and you can reach me at 616-931-4629. Again, 616-931-4629. Online at danmorales.com. That's DANMORALEZ.com. We lend in most of the 50 states, most products in most of the 50 states. There are a few products we don't offer in all states, but most in most states. So, even if you're not in my home state of Michigan, I've got clients all throughout the country and would love to have the opportunity to work with you. Hey, do me a favor, go on iTunes, leave a review of the podcast. Let us know that you're listening. Share it with friends and family, and just, help pass the word. My mission in doing this podcast, it's really to help educate would-be buyers, okay? The reality of life is, as much as I would love to write every mortgage that's out there, I couldn't. I don't have the time or the capacity to do that. So the best gift that I can give back with my 27 years worth of experience is the gift of knowledge, right? So please take this knowledge, use it, and most importantly, if you need a mortgage, contact me, okay? Again, my name is Dan Morales. Thanks for listening, and we'll come back at you next week. Bye.